Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series, Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary, Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary logo. 4 and up, assortment number. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight in that classic peel. And of course the whole retro packaging deal. And the figure and the picture do not match because this is the image that was used on the original Kenner Figures card, but the figure that was in the pack was the Jabba the Hutt's Palace version and not the end of the movie version. So, but anyway, it is nice classic card, and I love that they did use that image. It says Kenner, it's got the nice outline around it. Very cool. And then we have the nice blister card that shows off the figure and his 2 accessories. I'm guessing they're counting the blade and the hilt as 2 separate pieces. Nothing really on the bottom. Just side views from the side. On the back, we have Star Wars The Black Series, Star Wars. And again, that nice classic outlining of everything. Here we have the cross sale, Rebel Commando, Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, which of course is this figure, Darth Vader, Emperor's Royal Guard, and R2-D2. Commemorate the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Return of the Jedi with figures from the Black Series featuring classic design and packaging. Attention! Especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Achtung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Each sold separately, subject to availability. Includes figure and 2 accessories. Small fine legalese made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn. A barcode, Disney print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers, just in case we need them, and we might not. So here we have the front flap of Luke's tunic, and it's the unfolded version, and you can see it's got a little, I don't know, maybe they went a little heavy with some paint wash or something on it. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's quite glossy right there. And this just swaps out with the one that's currently on the figure. And we'll get to that in a minute. And you can see it's got, you know, peg right here. And a tab right here. And then it's got a big kind of tab right around in there. But again, we'll get to that in a minute, how that swaps out. Then here we have the blade for his lightsaber. It's that nice translucent green, and it is the newer style with the peg but not the little snap piece. So much more like light cruiser Luke. And then here we have his lightsaber handle, which does have some nice paint apps on it. I think the whole thing is covered in paint apps. I think the silver's all paint, and then the black and his silver here, and then the gold or brass here. And there is the port where the lightsaber plugs in, and then here we have a little clip on it that does clip onto his belt, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. Let's take a look at the figure himself. And here we have the face. Again, it kind of looks like Luke Skywalker, but it really doesn't look like Mark Hamill. I don't know that anybody has gotten a likeness of Mark Hamill correct yet. Maybe one of the higher end figures like a Hot Toys or something that I really haven't looked at. But I will tell you, I looked close. This is the same head that comes on the light cruiser Luke, but they did swap the hair pieces out. So the hair piece is the hair is a separate piece that has been glued on to each of those figures, but the face is the same. And then you can still see he's got, I don't know if they did a bit of wash or they overpainted, but you can see he's got some spots here and there that are a little bit more glossy than the rest of it. Not a lot of paint apps going on past the face. Most everything is molded in the correct color plastic. Now, there's probably a little bit of paint here on the collar, because I do believe, no, I take it back, it's separate. I think it's separate from the neck. It's hard to tell. So this could be a paint app, or it could be molded, and this just be a separate piece as well. But the neck, head, and torso are all separate pieces, so 3 pieces right in there. And he's got some paint apps here on his belt, some nice silver, and then the flap here, of course, is painted. And then nothing really going on the back, and that's really it for the deco and stuff. I mean, it's not, again, other than the head, there's not really a lot going on. I kind of wish they'd put a little bit of wash into the hair, and they may have. If they did, it's really light and not standing out much, but I'm seeing flicks here and there. So let's take a look at his articulation. He looks up that far, and again, these are on 3 pieces, and I think there's like a ball at the top and there's a ball at the bottom. So he looks up that high, he looks down that low. He's got chicken neck, he's got waggle, he can do the full exorcist. Now at the shoulders, this is cool. He's got butterflies. They go back that far, they go forward that far, and his arm comes out at the shoulder about 90 degrees. Also has a 360 degree rotation there. Nothing in the upper bicep. At the elbow, he has a single hinge and swivel like most Black Series, and it swivels 360 degrees and gives you slightly better than a 90 degree bend. 360 degrees rotation at the wrist on an up and down hinge, and up and down hinge on this side as well. Nothing in the torso as far as articulation goes, mostly because of this piece right here. And then at the waist, we've got that ball joint, and he can do the full hula. He can lean left and right. He leans backwards that far, and he can lean forward that far. So not a whole lot, but I mean, there is a nice range of motion in there. At the hips, he can give you that much of the splits. Not much for a Jedi. He kicks forward slightly less than 90 degrees, and backwards about a half a step. He does have a thigh cut for another 360 degrees of rotation. Single hinge and swivel at the knee, swivels around 360 degrees, and it gives you a bit better than 90 degrees for bend. Then at the top of the shin, just under the knee, at the top of the boot, a boot cut. So there is a lot of 360 degree rotations going along in this leg. 1, 2, and 3. So that's more than most figures get. At the ankle, tilts down that far. tilts up slightly. And then he does have forward-facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as changing this out, you just kind of get your fingernail behind it and flip it off. Flip it off. And then you can see he's got some impressions in here of the tabs and stuff on this. So you just line that peg up. Maybe. There you go. And just push it in. And I will say it doesn't stay in there the best, but you know, it's not gonna just fall off while you're posing it. You know, if you touch it at the right spot, it will. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on him because this is the way I'm gonna display him, with this flap hanging down. Now, as far as storage for his lightsaber, oh, there I go bumping the camera, because What's a Digital Caveman Presents review without bumping the camera. But you can see the little hook right here, and it goes with that D-ring. Of course it won't, because I'm filming. Now, I will tell you, it doesn't stay there the best. So, don't expect, well, see, you shake it like that, it's going to come off. So, if you're storing it like that, just be mindful that, you know, it's not much of a hook, and the ring there is a little bit small for it. So, but it will stay there in a neutral position at least. Now, as far as how the, you know, the blade and the handle work, you've got that post, you've got that port, and there you go. And that, my friends, is a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have a lot of Black Series Luke Skywalkers. And then on the front row, there's Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. The very first Black Series Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. Luke Skywalker Imperial Light Cruiser from The Mandalorian on the second row. The Walmart exclusive Jabba's Palace Luke Skywalker. And the regular release of Endor Luke Skywalker. For our final set of comparisons, here we have Star Wars The Black Series Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe's Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on Star Wars The Black Series Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, this figure has also, like R2-D2, has really been a long time coming. They've sort of skirted around this specific look for Luke for a while now, with the, you know, the Jabba's Palace Luke, and the Endor Luke, and the Imperial Light Cruiser Luke. So they've kind of skirted around redoing this particular version of Luke, and I'm glad that they finally gotten back to it. Now, I will say there probably is a lot of reuse on this guy, especially from the light cruiser mold. I believe the articulation scheme is all the same. And the torso is probably either different or just retooled to have that swap out piece in the front. And even the portrait is the same. The only real difference on the head sculpt is the hair. And that's okay. You know, this hair belongs more to Return of the Jedi, where the other one belongs more to CGI Luke. And again, the likeness to Mark Hamill isn't really there. He's got the, I guess you call it the duck lips. And, you know, it looks like Luke Skywalker. When you look at this, there's no mistaking that it's Luke Skywalker. It doesn't look like Mark Hamill's portrayal of Luke Skywalker. If that makes sense to anybody besides me, it may not. But I'm glad to see they finally done an updated version for this particular Luke Skywalker. And the extra articulation is certainly welcome. But it does seem like there's, you know, he's got the ball or dumbbell at the waist, but it seems like there was a missed opportunity to put in that segment where the chest and the abdomen meet. But I understand why they couldn't do it on this particular figure, because of the swap out shirt piece. So maybe in the future, we'll see. That does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.